What do you look for when you're looking at a house? So it struck us the other day as we're showing some clients a house, like you should actually take a minute, stop, and look at the outside of the house.
Yeah, so many times we find when we're looking at houses, we're in a big rush, particularly in winter when you're running from your car and it's snowing and you're running into the car. You never actually take in the outside of the home, take a look at the street. Does it feel right? Kind of thing. Kind of take it in. It's really good, I find myself personally, just to get out of my car and take a look, take it all in. Look at the roof. Is the building slanting? What are some of the things you look at?
The first thing I look at personally is what's happening on the street, right? So are there other houses on the street being developed? This neighborhood, as an example, tons of construction happening right now and properties being developed, right? Or have been developed.
Yeah, what's the general flavor of the street? A lot of streets in downtown are older streets that are in the process. Older families moving out, younger families moving in. What's happening from that perspective?
The second thing, I guess, is the condition of the house, right? Like, just stop and look at the front of the house. What does the brick look like?
So many of these houses, older homes, they're at least 100 years old and they slant to one side or whatever. You actually you won't see that if you just run up to the house. You kind of have to sit there and go, is that really, am I drunk or is that to the left? You know what I mean?
And what shape is the house in? Like, is the brick need repointing? What are the surface coverings? What's the roof look like? What do the windows look like? Are they going to need to be replaced? All that stuff you can tell at a quick glance on the outside. And one thing, we've noticed in particular is how is the water being managed around the house, right?
Yes.
Like, are you seeing concrete? Are you seeing sloping away from the house? Because when you go in the basement, you're probably going to get a wet basement, right?
That's right. And it's good to notice that because invariably, depending upon if it's this time of year, spring, and we don't have proper slopes, then you're going to get something in the basement.
Or, truthfully, my house, I had the problem. Downspout was coming right into the ground going into the house. Let's put some concrete, angle the downspout away.
Right.
Problem solved.
Some people think, oh my God, we got to redo the whole basement.
Yeah, totally.
And so it really, really helps just to take that moment or two and assess the outside on, those multiple levels. But you really can't do it until you actually sort of take it all in and scan the whole building. And it's amazing. A lot of people just don't do that. And then once you look at the front, we want to look at the side. Whether we're in an alley, if it's a semi, we're maybe shimming our way down the side. But there's a number of things we're looking for there as well, right?
And one important thing is, where do you put the garbage cans, right? I got to get from here to the street. In this case, it's easy, but, I actually just saw a house where they had them in the basement in a storage room.
It sounds like a little thing, but when it's Monday around here, and it comes garbage day, it is a total pain.
And when the snow is this deep,
it is. It sounds like a little thing until it's after dinner on Monday and it's snowing out, and you have to drag out your garbage cans from some ungodly place.
Yeah. So we look at what's the gas? Where does the gas come in? If there is gas, are there multiple meters? Is there 1 meter? Is it 200 amps? Is it 100 amps? Has it been updated, the electrical service?
If we're looking at a duplex or a triplex, do we have multiple meters? Also, when we're looking along the concrete or what have you, where there are possible spots for water, and has that been taken care of over the years? You can see, particularly on the side of a building, I find that you can really see how a place has been maintained. People,
make the front look nice.
The side not so much, but it also tells a lot about generally how the place has been maintained over.
And is there basement access, right? Like, we know getting basement access now is A, expensive, and B, hard from a permitting perspective, right? It's going to take you time. Right. So if there's existing basement access, that saves you a lot of hassle.
It sure does. Sure does. Even if you are widening it or what have you, having it there, it's a lot easier to widen something than to start from scratch. Eaves is a big one because it contributes so much to the water issue as well.
Yeah, and it tells you, are they maintaining the home?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they're not cleaning out their eaves, probably they're not maintaining the home, right?
Right. And some places are, to be fair, and these Victorians, it's really hard to do some of these.
Yeah, they're really high.
Right. It's high and it's slanted and all those other things. But if you do see a place, it's actually kind of the reverse. Normally on these Victorians with a lot of sloping roofs, they're not really maintained all that well often with the drains. But if they are, you know that probably it's either new or somebody really takes care of their house.
And then, once we get around the back, we're also looking at, backyard access. How's that being drained, right? Like, if you're at the bottom of a hill. And then, of course, laneway suite, garden suite potential, which we are very passionate about.
Absolutely. and just access in general. A number of these places have had rental, so often rental is coming through the back. It's coming through the laneway. How are they, how is that being managed?
Yeah, totally.
So that's a really important part, particularly, of course, as well if we're looking for rental capabilities.
Well, and now the zoning is very restrictive, right? If you're a semi and you need to access the back, you need certain access now, otherwise you won't get the permit. So, if you already have it, it's easier.
These are the little things that are going on in our head as we're trying to evaluate a property for its potential for their client, or maybe for another client if it's not right for this client.
Well, that's a good point. It's really like what do you want to do with the property, right? Like if you just want to live in it, you don't need a rental. It's different than if you're trying to develop it, or you want to add a floor, you want to add bedrooms. So all those things kind of come into play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you tie it all together to really get a good sense of where the building is at, and of course where your costs may be.
So we hope you found that hugely helpful. If you have any questions, if you want to know what to look for, shoot us an email, info@thinkto.ca. Please like this video and leave a comment below so we know to make more of this great content.
Thanks.
Talk soon.
Talk soon.